Hello, everybody. Swoopy swappy. Here's our faces.
Hello, it's our faces.
Faces. Welcome to MangaPod.
Faces.
With our what?
Nothing. Keep going.
I 100% thought you said feces.
I did.
Oh, you did?
With feces.
Oh.
Yeah. Faces.
Okay.
Are not feces. I'm just trying to make it clear.
I see.
I'm so confused.
I'm Erin, happily Erin.
I'm Dodger of Happily Dodger.
I'm Lou of Happy Lou.
And I'm Moeka of Happy Lee Moeka.
Yeah.
Those last three are not actual channels. Don't go look for those. Those aren't real.
Hey, you don't know what I'm planning?
This is phase 4 for Lou.
Yes.
Happy Lou.
I expect this to become a thing, and I'll be very disappointed.
Don't hold me.
The Happies! The Happies!
The Happies.
I
The
can-
Happily Cinematic Universe. I didn't expect to look up and see that face.
If you never joined us for MangaPod before, I think that's where we're at. We're a weekly podcast in which we get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we are talking Blood on the Tracks, chapters 33 through 82. Want to give you guys a warning. We have some warnings for this one before we get into the discussion for it. Abusive parent-child relationship, manipulation, death, trauma, sexual content involving minors, to name a lot. So that's some warnings for this series. We did do this series just like 2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago.
Yeah. So if you guys want to check out where we talk about chapters 1 through 32, that is available on Spotify, iTunes, any audio streaming. And it is also up on YouTube, which is youtube.com/happilyerin, which is a YouTube channel that exists. Unlike the rest of you posers.
Hey, whoa, come on.
Wow.
Lou has big plans, Erin.
I have dreams. Let me dream.
Sorry guys. Got really aggressive. Sorry for that. If you've never joined us for MangaPod before, what we'd like to do is give you a short, spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka a summary, and then we'll give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you are interested in, you can take your leave, go and read the first chunk of this, or all of it. Do that, come back and watch the VOD of this later, or listen to the audio stream. We ask that nobody in chat post any spoilers until we get to spoiler section. Once we're in spoiler section, free reign, because we have read everything. We're all the way caught up on this series.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and read the description for the series. So, from the creator who brought you notable works such as The Flowers of Evil, Happiness, how relevant, and Inside Mari, comes a new suspense drama centering on the theme of a toxic parent. Dive into the latest thriller by master storyteller Shuzo Oshimi. Seiichi's mother loves him very much, and his days pass by with placid regularity. School, friends, even the attention of his attractive classmate, until one terrible summer day where that all changes. Dum 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 dum
Dum, dum, dum.
There we go. All right,
Yes.
Who would like to go? Whoa, no.
Whoa, Nelly.
Yeah,
No,
my
the manga's
things are all twisted,
Oh, that's happened to me before.
and I'm very stressed about it.
So I'll go
Okay,
ahead.
Erin.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and go
take,
while you can.
take the podium.
I'll take the lead on this, and I'll give my spoiler-free recommendation.
Okay.
It's a pretty good read. This section of reading I found to be a little less engaging than the first, but I will say that we got a lot of answers in terms of like getting perspective on everyone's motivations for doing things, and this like it felt like we got to what would be like an okay ending. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts. Uh, I still recommend it. I mean, I think it's still worth reading. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with the rest of the story.
Yeah.
I'm guessing if it's
I have theory, but obviously I'm not gonna say it right now.
Yeah, save it for spoilies section.
yeah, I do too. I will say like the most that I'll kind of allude to is in regards to a theory would be I kind of feel like it's gonna do something similar to what happened in Akanohana, and I'll elaborate on what I mean on that when we move into spoiler section. So yeah, that's my stuff.
Cool.
Did I buy you enough time, Erin?
Yeah, I did. No, I got it.
Separated them.
Look.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I'm
did
so
it.
proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Beautiful.
guys.
Yeah, I mean, I actually felt the opposite of Lou. I thought this section of reading was, I think all of the reading that we've done of this has been like deeply uncomfortable on purpose. We established last time we read that like that is 100% the intention, and it's done very, very well. But in terms of like what happens in this section of reading, I think I enjoyed this section more. Yeah. That being said, as I think I said last time, I would not recommend this to everybody. Absolutely not. But it is very interesting.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's back, I think. Nope. We're frozen.
Oh, no. Hold on.
Oh, what do we
Dead.
do?
Where did it go?
Uh-oh. What is happening to us?
So I moved back to get my blanket, and
Yeah.
I accidentally tugged on my mic cord,
Oh.
and I'm hoping that, and so all my HDMI stuff suddenly started coming undone.
It's weird because it looked like all of our cameras were still there, but the like overlays were vanishing.
Because all of the overlays are connected to my drive,
Oh!
but we're
Oh.
connected to Discord, so
Yeah.
everything else was gone.
Mm.
And then this happened.
Oh.
Yes, that was major panic mode. I was
I see
genuinely scared that
my
it wasn't coming back.
lore. Some Moeka lore. I'm notorious for having awful tech issues, so I think I've now spread that curse around to
Oh, no.
you guys.
No.
Enjoy.
You
welcome.
you have joined kindred spirits is
Oh,
what's actually
no.
happened.
Oh no.
Together we make our power stronger.
Stronger?
Yeah, I'm gonna highlight tech issues that I've had because chat can hear us right now, right? And maybe they can help me with this issue.
Yeah.
Should be able to.
All right, so I opened the start menu on my computer,
Yeah.
and it just scrolls down, but that only happens
Oh.
when I open the start menu, and that's it. And I don't know how to fix that.
Rapidly scrolls down. the
Yes,
second you
but
open it.
only the start menu.
How weird.
That's
what I was
super
saying.
weird.
I've unplugged all peripherals, just like removed batteries, everything. So
Huh.
I have no idea.
Just scrolls.
Yeah, it just scrolls.
I was
I'm
only
gonna open
yeah.
OBS and I'm gonna record it, and then people are gonna see and understand why I'm frustrated.
How weird.
So weird.
Um,
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Anyway, yeah,
That was my bad.
I just said I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, but I do think that it's an interesting read. I'm glad that we've read it, but yeah, it's very, very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good psychological deep dive with complicated subjects throughout it. So, yep.
Moeka?
For my psychological horror fans, I definitely do recommend this because it's unsettling as hell. I really like the art. I think it's really pretty. It's so interesting because throughout the whole thing, you just literally feel uncomfortable the whole time. There is no like, oh. This will go in a couple seconds. No, it's there the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, I am the same. I don't recommend it to everybody, but people are interested in this genre. It's one that is very interesting to read and goes up and down and takes some twists you may not be ready for or expect to happen. And yeah, it's just very unsettling. It's a very good psychological horror. That is very reminiscent, I think, of series like, I think I was talking about some parts of Devilman Crybaby. There were parts of that kind of were very uncomfortable. Just not like in terms of content aren't the same, but that unsettling like grossness.
The feeling you get from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. Basically what everybody else says. So
Yeah.
cool. Let's go. And is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we jump into spoilers?
Yeah, I like your Uzumaki shirt.
Thanks!
It's good.
Yeah, I noticed it too.
Hang on. Oh, God, I'm really scared to turn around.
Oh, also, who's God? Come on, guys.
We haven't
We're
gone
there.
into spoiler section
We'll
yet,
get there.
Moeka.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So my brain is too
God,
ahead. Oh, the back is cool as hell, too.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
so
too ahead.
good.
Sorry, guys. I apologize.
You're just ready. Just ready.
Let's go into spoiler section because Moeka's about to burst.
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
Okay.
I was like, this whole week, it's all I've had on my mind. I was just like, holy shit.
Who's God?
Who is God? Is Chiu no Adachi? Okay. This is your chance to peace out, guys. You're going to get a 5-second countdown and you can leave, and then it's going to be spoiler central from here on out. We've read all of it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mom's still the devil.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That is what we said last
Fucking
time. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. So I was thinking about. So for the clip, we have a Twitter, by the way, where we posted a clip for this episode, the last episode of this, because we just uploaded it. And Dodger and I had some joke spoilers. And so I was thinking about those as I was reading. I was like, oh man, what's going to happen? And I don't think any of them came true. I don't think any of them happened, actually.
Deeply disappointed.
Yeah. I was very sad that all of the dads in the series didn't die.
Yeah.
Every single father.
Yeah. No one else has
Yeah.
died.
No one
To be
died!
fair, we saw clips of her trying to kill her own kid, so there's that.
Yeah.
Oh my
it
god, that whole scene was so disturbing, man.
I just.
Yeah. It was like fun seeing her do like the whole Lion King thing with him.
What the
And then
fuck?
just
Oh
yeeting
my
him off the cliff.
god.
Fun!
I'm sorry
No.
because that's what I pictured the gif of Rafiki holding.
Oh,
Simba
the one
up
where
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
watches him.
yeah.
You know what? That's fair.
No, but yeah, no, it was deeply unsettling, and it was like a total bait and switch, like the whole thing with the cat. We're
I
like, oh,
can't-
Oh my god, yeah.
I can't
Well, we-
remember who it was, but last time
Yeah.
one of us was like, I think maybe the cat is actually a metaphor for the kid, and she did something to the kid, and I can't remember who said it.
Oh, I think I said
But-
that.
Yeah, and when I was reading it, I was like, whoever said that was on point, man. She did not kill that cat, but she tried to kill her kid. It's wild.
Yeah.
no, I like how they kind of like baited us before by showing his hand bloody in just a short flashback,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and that time I was thinking, all right, well, yeah, the cat attacked the boy, the mom lost her shit because she's overprotective, and she killed the cat.
Mm-hmm.
And since he was little,
Yeah.
he didn't understand.
No, it's even worse.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
no, he got yeeted off a hill, and then
I-
she made him walk home.
Oh my gosh, just evil on top of evil.
Okay, but
So-
the power moves from her. That beast said, and I quote, I don't give a shit. I fucking hate this family. I'm going to the cops. Like, holy. When I saw that she straight up, like, admitted to everything, I was like, holy fuck.
It
What?
was like not that long after she had completely gaslit her kid into being like, that's not what you saw. You saw a different thing, didn't you? Right? Like that was not that long ago. We did not have that many chapters between her completely twisting his memory into basically like, you can live with this the same way I'm living with it if you just prescribe to our new reality of what happened. And then like a couple chapters later was like, yep, I pushed him. Sorry, I fucked with your brain. I hope you have a good life. And just walked out the door to the police station. I was like, what?
I know. I
This
was just
poor
like,
fucking
holy
kid.
shit. This woman, the power.
Yeah.
It's especially with what we see of her, the sobbing that happens when she goes to Fukishi's house and is talking to Fukishi's dad. She has that big breakdown, and you feel like, okay, she is this connected to her kid where she's gonna bring him down with her because she has no one else and needs him to come down with her. And for her to twist that around and suddenly just be like, all right, leaving you behind, just makes it even that more that harder.
Yeah, and I think he even has, I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he even has a moment that's like, I was like a doll.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mhm.
like that whole sequence of him realizing like she loved me as like an object that suited her needs sometimes. And other times she just took out her anger on me. Like I was just there for whatever she was feeling at the moment, which is like such a fucked up thing for a kid to realize about their own parent.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, it's so odd because I mean, it makes sense why he would confuse like all her, like the way that she took everything out on him to like come off as normal, because that's the only like type of quote unquote love that he's ever known in his family, because the dad's like so like disconnected from him,
Passive.
really.
Yeah.
And so it's, I don't know, it's so interesting because now I'm wondering like what release is she gonna find like by being jailed, basically. Because you'd think, oh, she got away with it, she's gonna divorce her husband and fuck off somewhere, and that like that would be like her breaking free and being free and whatnot. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, they keep talking about how they don't think that she's gonna get convicted. Like they don't think she's actually gonna go to prison. So I'm like, oh god.
They can't find that motive.
Yeah. That's my next. So that's what my theory is around, is that she's somehow she's gonna find a way to like come up with some fucking crazy like nutty proof, and that's gonna send her to prison, and then her kid's gonna be like, fuck, I want to murder her. Because the way this chapter ended, I was just like, oh no, this kid's gonna become a murderer. Or so, I don't know, it's just like, damn, he's gonna want to murder her. So I think either she's gonna go to prison and he's gonna be like, fuck, I need to find a way in to kill her.
Yeah.
Like in the future or something.
Or he's like,
so this is kind of like feeding into what I'm speculating is going to happen.
What are your thoughts,
Time
Lou?
skip. She's gonna go to jail. She'll come back and she'll be quote unquote cured, and he's gonna live with her, and he's gonna have all this internalized resentment that he may take out on her.
Yeah,
I think
I could totally see that being the ending, 100%.
Or the other, like the second part to my theory is that she won't go to prison, but they're gonna be like, she's fucking crazy. She like somehow it's gonna come out that she threw her own kid off the cliff as well, and they're gonna be like, she's fucking nuts, so she can't be around the kids. Let's send her to like a psych ward or something. Kind of like how we in the last horror reading we had one of the characters was just like stuck there for all eternity.
It actually was making me think. So when Dodger and I did our joking spoilers, there was a section where I said the mom died, and then Dodger goes, "Oh, and he becomes the killer," and we did a joke. But then I was listening to a crime podcast this week, and it went over how a certain serial killer started killing a bunch of women as he got older because of the relationship he had with his mom and how horrible it is. So maybe it is becoming like a story about how a serial killer happened. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Hope it's not.
But
I really hope that that's not what it is. I would find it way more of like I don't want to say satisfying. I think satisfying is like a bad word for it. But I would find it much more with a story that's been so much about like natural motivations of characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would be more natural if it was like what Lou said.
Yeah.
Where it explores that thing that totally happens, that 100% happened to my dad growing up, which is like, this person abused me my whole life, but as an adult, I'm desperate to try and reconnect with them and like fix it.
Yeah.
And like, if there was something like that where there's a time skip and he's like, my mom's been in prison for a long time, but she needs somewhere to go. And I'm an adult now and I've like grown into my own person and like, maybe I can help her, or, you know, like I have to do something to help her. And then it just goes wrong. I would find that to be like completely believable as an ending to this.
Yeah, definitely.
Or to kind of like play off of what Moeka speculated in terms of her not getting sent to jail, which I mean, let's be honest, like the whole that whole legal argument of there's no motive, so she can't go to prison is like super weak.
So weird.
But but that aside, if like let's say if she doesn't go to prison, I could see this turning into Fukishi trying to coax him into killing her. And actually,
I was gonna say I think she's gonna be like his gateway into like potentially becoming a killer because now that his mom is gone, I don't think he's immediately gonna become his own person, but because it was Fukishi,
Fukishi,
who like put it into his brain that he is his own person, because when she was like holding his head and during the cornfield phase, as I like to say, he was like telling him that he's an individual and he's not his mom. So I think honestly, I feel like she's going to be the first person that he kills. I think maybe there's a time skip and they're together and maybe they don't like become like a murdering couple or something, but it's like the way like everything fucked up that happened when he was younger is gonna like push him to be like, man, maybe my love is that I want to kill him, and that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's do this.
I don't know, man.
I think probably my favorite part of this reading was him getting I don't want to say interrogated, but like interviewed by the cops. Because they brought up that concept again, right? Like the cops obviously realize, and I was so grateful that from the get-go, the cops are like, this kid has been manipulated and like brainwashed by this mom. And we need to figure out a way to get him to tell us the truth, right? And so I found that was like 2 chapters long, which the chapters are very short.
Yeah.
But I actually really liked that whole interview scene because we had another instance of them being like, you're not your mom, what did you see, right? Like what do you remember, not what your mom tells you that you remember. And like him like covering his eyes and like really trying to reconnect with like just himself, because all of the chapters leading up to that, he had started to do this thing where anytime he needed to answer a question, he looked at his mom first. And so to like finally see him on his own with adults that are like, we're not blaming you, right? Like, we know that you're a victim in this, so just like be honest with us. I really liked that scene. And to have it end with him being like, she pushed him, I was like, thank you.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so glad he said that.
I was not ready for him to continue feeding that lie of, no, she didn't push him. I was ready for that to come out. So I'm really glad that it did. And like you talking about the police, not like you said, not interrogating, but gently pushing him towards what the truth is. It was nice to have responsible adults that aren't dismissive, or being like, no, that didn't happen, be a man, like things like that. It was nice to have adults there that are competent or willing to see the situation too, which is a contrast between his dad and like obviously like his mother too.
I think one of the things that helps with that, and again, this is like a really nice aspect of like the mangaka takes everything into account, right? Is that the people who are accusing her, his aunt and uncle, have watched him grow up with his mother his whole life and are able to corroborate and be like, there's a like this relationship, something's wrong here, you know, and like we think that he saw something and he's scared to say it. Like that, I like that it's taking into account, like, of course, all of the adults in the conversation have talked first, right? Before the kid has even entered it. So yeah, just like getting rid of the unnecessarily, like, what am I trying to say? The section of time where they maybe don't just trust. I don't know.
Where they don't take him
it
seriously
felt
because he's a
believably
child.
straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's just weird because it's like him also, there's that one part where he was just like, I love my mom. And then him at this around the same time, like finally realizing, oh, masturbating's a thing.
Yeah.
That's what the kiss was. Well, obviously you know what I'm talking about. But it's like he's like puberty's hitting him, and so it's just like, man, all this fucked up shit plus puberty on top of it. What if like, I don't know, what if all this fucked upness is gonna be the only thing that pushes him moving forward if there is a time skip? It's just so interesting.
And like,
how fucked up is he gonna get?
Dude, the way the mom got so like this face.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that face kept coming up too. I hate it.
I hate it so much.
Man, when he was just like, "Mommy, I'm sorry, and then it just cut to her saying "dirty," and then that face. Holy shit! What an awesome like way to go about it. Oh, so good. So good.
Wasn't expecting her to be that angry. I was expecting a completely different reaction. I don't know what it was, but for her to be so pissed and then just railing on him, I was like, stop it! It's normal! Leave him alone, you bitch!
Yeah.
So, like, in retrospect, like, there's this undercurrent of misogyny that runs throughout this entire reading. Like, I started thinking about all the female characters and their interactions with this boy, and how there's a lot of deception and manipulation, and just a lot of negativity surrounding them. And I'm wondering how that's gonna inform who he grows into. Like, let's say I'm right that there is a time skip, and you know. So I think someone in the chat speculated that that the manga would probably be ending soon. I would like to see at least like that distrust manifest in some way that is not, I guess is the manifestation of trauma as opposed to like a rationalized response towards women. Like that's the one thing that kind of like I'm worried about how his character like finishes its development.
Right.
I don't know. I just came to mind, and I just needed to get that out there.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, drop it.
So yeah, he jizzed his pants when he kissed the girl. So.
Yeah, that. I forgot that
awesome.
was where we started.
Dude,
this,
so poon poon.
Yeah.
The way that was shown.
Tinkle tinkle hoy.
Tinkle tinkle hoy.
Yeah, very like yeah, his body just kind of like turning into goo.
Yeah.
That like imagery
man,
without
yeah.
like showing it, like that sort of thing. Yeah, it's very poon poon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that God. No, I knew the second that he came home and threw his clothes in the laundry, I was like, well, this is gonna
This
go
is not
bad.
good.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just
It's like,
like,
those are
oh
gonna
my
get
god, for
found.
the love of God, grab your fucking underwear and dunk that shit into your bath right now. Holy fuck. I would not. Whew, my
Oh my
man.
God.
He has coom brain.
Oh my God. When
Hey, Coom.
yeah, when the mom was like, I won't be mad, I was like, this is
She's
yeah,
gonna be mad.
she's gonna be fucking furious, yeah. But I think I don't know, I expected her to be mad at Fukishi and not mad at him. Because it seemed like that
Yeah.
tended to be the theme, right? Is like she's doing something to you, she did this to you, etc. This was, I think, the first time where it was like, you're disgusting to him, right?
Can I say that
Um,
I'm super thankful that because that could have gone the other way of where like it would have accelerated that weird sexual tension that they had in the first half of the
I
reading.
think that's where I thought it was gonna go.
And I think that's what
Thank
makes
God. Yeah.
I think that's sorry, I was gonna say I think that's where this author excels is he does it sometimes he takes it where you're expecting, but other times he doesn't. And so that suspense that you're just like building inside for yourself is just like further like fuck, what's the word? My mind is blanking.
I don't know.
He like
I don't-
pushes
I
that
have no idea.
feeling further.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely goes beyond where you're expecting it to.
like it is, I mean, we talked last time about how that is like a very believable abusive cycle though as well. The like, I love you, I'm sorry, I'm terrible, etc. And then swinging all the way over to like verbally, emotionally, maybe even physically abusive, and then swinging back again like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, right? And we definitely again saw her go through both of those extremes in this reading. Which is so frustrating as like a reader, right? Is very frustrating to see her sobbing and saying I'm sorry and all of these things. And it's hard because I do believe in those moments that she's sorry, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that he should be with her, right? That she
Yeah.
isn't a terrible mom. Like she is a terrible mom.
So,
Yeah.
So
what?
you just the whole time just want him to get away from her so bad. And now he is away from her. And we're still like, somebody in chat was like, is it too much to ask that the end of this series is that he finds a nice therapist and is like working through his trauma?
That'd be
like,
so nice.
I would love that. That would be a great ending. That would be fantastic. I don't think that's going to happen because we know the mangaka, but that would be great. That would be a
So
fantastic
nice.
ending.
What do you guys think about Fukishi? Let's talk about her just like as herself, her character, and what we're seeing of her storyline. What are your guys' thoughts about that girl?
I think it's interesting that she is so driven to not be an abandoned child and like be her own person. I think that the fact that she's trying in some way to help Seiko like overcome this trauma, I think it's admirable. I don't think she's qualified
Yeah.
to be offering
Yeah.
that type of support. And I think that her motivations for offering that kind of support are rooted in selfishness.
Well, they're rooted
But
in her own trauma, right? Like
yes,
they're both trying to bandage each other
yes,
when they both need help. Yeah.
yeah. So and just the last part of it would be just any like physical intimacy that she'd advanced with him. I don't know. It seems like I don't know. I, I don't know what her genuine feelings towards him are, and what is spurring that physical intimacy, or if it's the an immediate reaction as a result of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like how
Yeah.
sometimes people will attempt to work through trauma through just engaging in physical intimacy.
For sure. I think that is what it is, right? Is like her mom abandoned her. Her dad doesn't show her any kind of like paternal affection of any kind. And she's like desperate for that, but
Mhm.
doesn't know what that looks like in a healthy sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so she's like, the way that she's attempting to get it is like not, it doesn't make sense like for her age. And yeah, it's not like, it's not progressing in a fashion that feels healthy at all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But I don't think that she's I don't think that there's anything necessarily like malicious about her at all. I think she genuinely does want to help him. It's just that she also
Yeah.
needs help, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moeka, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think her character is really interesting because it's like, yeah, I don't think where she's coming from is malicious at all. It's just she wants to find that like quote unquote normal, because like her dad is like super passive in some ways in the way that he treats her, because she just fucking like rails into him. Like when he came into his room, she was like, get the fuck out, like I'm gonna pee, go downstairs, I don't give a shit what you say. Like it was just so interesting to like if it were my parents would be like, what the fuck did he say to me?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know, they're so passive. So I think it's really interesting, and it makes me wonder if like there is a time skip. I don't think that, I honestly don't believe that she's gonna turn out to be a murderer. So it makes me wonder if it's gonna be like him thinking that they're in this like murder pact of some sort, and then the reality is no, she's just like fucking normal, giving normal advice, but he's like warping her advice in his brain or something. Man, the theories, too many.
He's not, guys, I don't think he's gonna be a murderer. That just is so
You
out of
never
left field to me.
know.
But
I don't think he's gonna be that doesn't make any sense.
you haven't listened to enough serial killer podcasts, okay?
I have though.
You don't get the psyche that starts. So,
Yeah. I don't think that that's
do you think
I think that would be very
she'll
extreme.
be a murderer?
no.
No,
You just
I
don't
don't
think anyone's
I
gonna
don't
be a
know. I don't
murderer?
think-
Wow, Dodger.
No, okay.
I
In
think
all
that
honesty,
He could potentially kill his mom, maybe if he lives with her again and like has a traumatic response to
Yeah.
her and tries to hurt her, and maybe it goes a little too far and she dies. I could totally see that. I do not. We have had, this is a story, right? And if you have nothing that like signifies toward that kind of a change after a time skip,
Yeah.
like there's an issue. We haven't seen him like considering hurting anything. We haven't seen him considering hurting animals. We haven't seen him like having any kind of violent thoughts toward anybody other than his mom.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's
Well,
gonna.
he
don't
punched
think
the fuck out of that one kid in his class.
That's true. He did,
Yeah.
but he doesn't know why he did it.
Yeah,
he doesn't
which I
even
think
remember
is
like
oh my god.
the moments leading up to that.
Yeah.
So
Baby.
so I'm thinking that if he ends up killing his mom in future readings, again, completely speculative because none of this is actually written yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I see it happening in one of two ways, and that's him pushing her off a building, or
Oh.
Or,
oh my
uh,
god, that would be such incredible mirror.
yes, or strangling her like she did with him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, definitely
You know-
something that's foreshadowed that we've already seen before. The mirror,
Yeah.
like Dodger said.
Yes, I think that's likely the case, but also what if they're okay, nobody else turns out to be a murderer, but the mom just fucking like gets pissed that somehow she doesn't get convicted, she doesn't get sent to psych ward, ends up going back to live with her kid and husband because she has nowhere else to go. What if as revenge when he's like an adult, she like kills herself and is
Oh,
just like, you little shitter, I should have done this sooner.
she
That'd be nuts. Do
doesn't
the
give
power
him
move.
the satisfaction. That's probably the
I-
wrong word, but
I have wondered if her end goal is for something to kill her.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like I don't think
'cause
that
it's-
I don't
it's
think
so
she wants
weird.
to be alive. Like at
Right.
first when she was like, finally it can all fall apart, or however she put it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that she was hoping that she would. I don't know if they even have the death penalty in Japan, but I thought that she
Yeah, they
was
do.
hoping like that that somehow through all of this she would wind up dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What did you guys think about the nephew, the cousin pulling through?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, nuts. I thought he was immediately gonna start freaking out about his aunt. And I was just like, oh my god, he did it. Maybe he will forget. And nope. Pulls through.
When he said the butterflies thing, and then we got the flashback with the butterflies when he fell, I was like, oh. Yep, it's there. He's picking at it.
Mhm.
He's gonna remember.
And it took falling for him to like
Yeah, to
remember.
Yes.
remember.
Not just falling, being caught and then let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
Like,
shit,
literally the
yeah.
exact situation.
I
that he
didn't
fell
think
from.
about that. Oh my god.
Mm. Yeah, that was wild. I am hoping that he continue, like, if we could maybe pie in the sky get an ending where he's like, I'm going to therapy now and I'm working through all of my issues, and by the way, I have a healthy relationship with my cousin who my mom tried to kill. Right? Like, I would love for him to like reconnect with that kid. That's another thing that I don't actually think is going to happen, but I would like for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wish there was more, because as we're sitting here talking, I'm like, can't wait to read all the way up to the end to figure out if we're right or not. And there's none out, and it's literally like hurting me.
Well,
I know.
well, let's say
It'd be like that.
let's say there are a few chapters left, all right, and this releases twice a month, right? So
Mhm.
if it happens to finish before our MangaPod luck, this should be on, like, in addition to whatever one shots we bring. If
Ooh,
it's
our
done,
extra.
a
not
little
a bad
bonus.
idea.
I think we should do that.
I'm
Not a
in.
bad
Yeah, that
idea.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Only
that.
if it's done, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only if it's done.
Mhm.
There's no point unless we can have like a full wrap up convo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the characters in this are really interesting just because
Mm.
they're not usually what you run into in manga. Because
Yeah.
in any other manga, the mom would have been like, that bitch was crazy from the start. Like, who cares if she's depressed? That's what makes her a psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, the idea that the rest of the family isn't blaming her outright right away. There's this like trust and like caring between them makes it that when they do start to question whether she pushed the kid off the cliff or not, there's definitely a betrayal there with them where they're like, I don't want to believe that this is possible. And then to slowly start to piece together the signs that they may have missed or just ignored and been like, no, that's not, that feeling and instinct is just not right. Like, there's not correct. And then to have it slowly dawn on them, oh shit, this is who she is and what's happening with her. I really felt the aunt and the uncle
Oh my
slowly realizing it, and their emotions, their feelings towards her change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, just super interesting to me.
Mm.
I'm glad we read this. Thank you, Lou.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Let's talk about art. Okay.
So there were a few chapters that looked really interesting and different art wise. But so like for example, the whole fight that he had in the middle school, like that whole blur effect that were on the other characters, which made them kind of indistinguishable from I thought that looked interesting. There was another chapter where the art was a lot more rough, but it added a lot in terms of like the emotion to that. I wish I would have like written down what chapter it was. But on the whole, I feel like the art in the later chapters was not as good as the art in the beginning. I don't know if that's just me.
I don't know.
I felt like it was pretty consistent.
I think the first half was more real, like based in like realism, and then the second half was more exploring like the like art through metaphors. So like when he like came for the first time, he like turned into a goo monster. I loved that like blur effect for everyone in his that was near him at that time. And then his mom talking about how like that's how she felt when she was younger, was she realized that like people didn't seem like people to her. And I thought that was like a neat way of being like, yeah, this person does not view people as people. So weird. I don't know. I really liked the art still. I thought it was consistent, but
I was actually talking to Lou about this during soundcheck. The mangaka is so good at utilizing pacing with how they're telling the story within the panels. And so you'll be reading and then anticipating what the climax is going to be for that chapter. And then you flip to the next page and there's just a face with all the emotion, everything, doesn't even need dialogue, and it's just there. And you're like, oh shit. And so they're just very effective at choosing their panels and how the pacing of it is going to affect the scene. And the image that Lou has for his camera right now is a really good example of that, because that's the chapter where Fukishi is forcing her. I don't know if forcing herself is the correct term, but
Attempting to seduce.
Huh?
Attempting to seduce.
Yes.
Because I think at that point she believed, at least to some extent, that everything was consensual, and
yeah, that's definitely a much better way of saying it. We're waiting to see what his reaction is gonna fully be, and then you flip to the next page and that's what it is, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like,
yeah,
what is happening like in his mental state at that point. And so I think that's a testament to the effectiveness of the art and emotion through just through the art. And it also makes the manga go real fast. I know we talked about this a lot in our last episode of this, but there's so much storytelling through art alone that makes it. That's why we read 50 chapters of it. Like, that's the right math, right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because we knew that it was going to go so quick, and it did. It only took me like an hour and a half to read this section. It just goes like. So.
It's just like that sound effect indicated. Exactly.
Yeah.
So part of when I said that the art wasn't as good, I feel like in terms of just like how the big panels turned out. So, like for example, I don't think we got anything on the level as impactful of the kid being thrown off the cliff. Even the scene where like she threw her son off the hill, I feel like there was less impact to that than there could have been. They could have followed the same progression, or maybe they did, but it didn't stick with me for whatever reason. But like following the same thought process as when she threw the cousin off the cliff, I feel like something similar to that would have been nice. Like maybe like he's near the edge, or she stands him up near the edge, and then throws or pushes him. I don't know. I just feel like it's is less interesting in terms of like how like what like the art itself was fine. It was how the story was designed to or how the art was used to tell the story. I don't know. I'm having trouble explaining this.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I get it.
But yeah, there's just something about it that was less impressive than the first half.
That makes sense.
I just did. I don't know. For me, this second half was just as good, just because I was not expecting her to just be like, "Yep, it was me. Take me in, boys."
I was actually I think that's one of the reasons that I liked this reading so much is like, oh, we're done beating around the bush.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I feel like that never happens in this genre that often. It's always like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't do it, and then them like trying to figure out a way to make that the truth.
If there was going to be a time skip, I fully expected it to be like the mom and the son run away, and then we get a time skip of them like older, still like together being weirdos. So I was honestly like really delighted that, again, that like the people in the situation, aside from the fucking dad, are all like that care enough and are competent enough to connect the dots, and that she was true to the sort of things we had seen with her character so far, where she was just kind of like hoping for an explosion in her life, right? It was just like, yep, I did it.
Yeah.
Take me away, you know? And I think in terms of main boy, I think in terms of him and like following his mental progression and the way that all of this has had an effect on him, that was also the right place for it to go, to be like manipulated for this entire manga so far, and then have to like try to unpack that when she's like, nope, it was all a lie.
Yeah.
Also, maybe I never loved you. Bye. Right? Like,
Horrible. Very bad person.
terrible.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else you would like to bring up before we go final thoughts and ratings?
I think the only thing that we didn't talk about, which was brought up in chat, is that when she was questioned by the police, she said the reason that she pushed that kid was because she imagined that it was Sei.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That, like, once again, she was like fantasizing about killing her own kid, and like that's why she did it, whether that's true or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why not. That bitch pushed him off when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
Well, I think the argument is like potentially that might be a lie so that she could distance him from the whole situation. So that they would be like, oh, well, he definitely was like not part of this, right? The mom is like fantasizing about killing him. Like he's a victim here. But I think that, again, I think the adults are competent enough and empathetic enough to have made that assumption anyway. I don't think that that's like a necessary thing for her to have done for that reason, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I
She's
mean, there
caught.
is no.
She doesn't give a shit anymore.
Well, also,
Yeah.
there is no reason to protect him
Mhm.
in this case because he was nowhere close enough to where he could have helped his cousin. Like he has a weirdo mom who it was abusive towards him, so it makes sense why he wouldn't say something immediately.
Yeah.
And so it's just, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
That
This
kind
bitch said, I won't hesitate. I just can't. She's nuts. I love it. Oh my God.
that reminded me that we didn't touch on what happened at the end of our reading, where Fukishi brought out the bag and they drew their mothers
They drew their
on each
moms.
side and just went haywire. They're like the rocks and pounding. What did you guys think about that bit that we ended up on? Because it was, Dodger was saying that it was a good ending point, which I definitely agree.
Yeah, it was awesome. That's where when I started thinking about my theory, because it makes me wonder if if Sei is gonna be fucked up enough to where it's gonna be like, man, that like imagining killing my mom, because it wasn't just him looking at the bag and like seeing a fake drawing of his mom. Like he literally imagined his mom's face like beat
mangled.
the fucking
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if it's gonna fuck him up enough to where he's gonna progress to be like, man, you know what? That made me feel good. I wonder if like actually killing her is gonna free me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll see.
It definitely felt like this is something Fukishi has done before as well.
Yeah.
That like just all of that anger at her mom leaving,
Mm-hmm.
that she's like done things, like violent things to try and get rid of that anger, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss like them saying why she left, or is it just said that she left?
She just left. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Abandoned.
abandoned her.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of just alluded that her mom left with another man, and then that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that because it makes me wonder if they're gonna do a mirror of Fukishi and her mom, where like I don't know, maybe someone's gonna be like, your mom was a whore. She went off with a man.
Your mom
That's
was
all
a
you'll ever
whore.
amount to be too.
Aw.
Because the
But-
mom was like, Fukishi seduced my son. She ruined
Right.
him.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that'll become more of a thing, or if from now on it's like, all right, well, I'm done with my abandonment issues. You're with me now.
That's true. And I don't know if it's because the dad just doesn't give a shit, but like we didn't really have a resolution from the mom being like, hey, you should transfer Fukishi from this class because she like molested my son, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anything ever happened with that, right?
No.
No.
They were like, no. And then she went to jail. So I guess they were like, okay.
She's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that was most likely a lie. So we'll just move on from there. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn. This was a read.
What a heavy.
I'm glad we did it. And I'm glad we did it together.
I'm looking forward to not reading this for a while, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, very fair.
Yeah, we did both of these readings very close together.
Hey.
I
was gonna say we had some fluff to break it up a little bit,
yes, that's true.
but still.
I just want people hitting each other without there being, like a bunch of psychological shit behind it. That's all.
That's great.
Can we throw one of those in there?
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Yeah.
Cool. We have Kaylee in chat sending us some emojis again.
Aww.
I have
because you're her whole world.
Aww.
Aww.
The other day, she just out of nowhere hugged me and then goes, "I think I want to keep you."
Oh, thanks.
That's very
So
cute.
wholesome.
I was like, "Aw."
Yesterday, this is like kind of sad, but yesterday Clark like was climbing the stairs and I was like, "Don't climb the stairs without me." And she like turned around and like started laughing and kept climbing the stairs and I was like, and then when she got to the top, she turned around and started crying and I was like, "What is going on?" And she was like, "I miss you."
Aww.
Aw.
I was like, "I'm right here. I'm literally following you because you're ignoring me about the stairs."
Aw,
Oh
what
my
a
God.
sweet. Aw.
They're so funny.
Kids are.
It worked. I
They're great.
melted. I was like, "Oh, my baby."
I was explaining to, sorry, another off topic. I was explaining to Kaylee because we were talking about everything, like what she is and like smart, cute, funny. And then I called her clever because she is very clever. And she's like, "What does that mean?" And so I was explaining it to her. And I was like, you're very smart and know how to get what you want. And then she like leaned over without just this smile on her face, leaned over, kissed my cheek, and goes, "I want more cuddles, please."
Aw.
Oh, very cute.
Very clever.
There it is. Cool. Should we do final thoughts and ratings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who would like to go first?
I guess I go first.
for
I
it.
give the section. I enjoyed it a lot, so I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10. I liked it a lot. The characters were interesting. It made me wonder what the fuck was happening, which is what I'm here for in this type of genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's so different from all the other series in this type of genre that I read
Mm-hmm.
that I don't know. It sticks with me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I think I would give it an 8. Yeah, it's for what it is. It's very good. It's just it makes me feel gross.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
is a really good way.
So like I have to take that into consideration when giving it a number. That would be the number for me as a reader. Would be like, I definitely don't want to read more of this type of thing for a while. But the way that the mangaka like characterizes and motivates every person in this is like so interesting to think about, and there's definitely moments that you wind up thinking about for a few days after you've read it, which like I think goes to show that it's well done in a lot of ways, but yeah, it makes me feel gross, so I take that into consideration. I'll give it an 8, even if I think like overall it probably deserves a higher number. For me it's an 8.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'll go next. So I think last time I gave this a 9, and I enjoyed it, just not as much. Like the answers that we got for why the mother did what she did, and like everything that happened was good. Like the rationale was solid, but I just found this section less engaging. So only mildly affects my score. I'd give it an 8.5 or maybe an 8 out of 10. It's still a really good read, and definitely one of the better psychological thrillers that I've read. And I think more digestible in some ways than something like No Longer Human was, or
Yeah.
things kind of that nature. And it's a really fast read. So like for someone who has a billion things going on, reading stuff like this it's always a welcome addition to the schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was between an 8.5 and a 9 too. I agree that I think the first section was more engaging, but I didn't feel disappointed by this section either. There were many moments where I was like, oh shit, didn't expect that to happen. I'm interested to see how it ends. Like, I really want to know where it goes from here, because it feels like the ends have all been tied up from what we've been reading. But there is stuff still open, but I just don't know where else it's going to go. So I'm very interested in reading more. And Agree with Dodger made me feel real icky. A lot of it made me feel icky, but it was really effective at what it set out to do. So I think especially within the genre, it's a higher rating compared to other things that we've read in this genre too. It's very effective. So yeah. Cool. Anything else you guys want to bring up?
No,
So?
I think we got it.
Cool. So that wraps up our discussion on Blood on the Tracks, chapters 33 through 82. If it is like you guys have hung around, if it's something that you're interested, go in, check it. Go check it out. We are going to read the description for the manga we are going to be checking out next week. And you guys in chat get to guess what it is. Woo, woo, woo. Dukes, you're reading, it? Yes.
Sick.
I think you're reading it.
Ready? Yuji Itadori is resolved to save the world from cursed demons, but he soon learns the best way to do it is to slowly lose his humanity and become one himself. In a world where cursed spirits feed on unsuspecting blanks, fragments of the legendary and feared demon Ryomen were lost and scattered about. Should any demon consume his body, the power they gain could destroy the world as we know it. Fortunately, there exists a mysterious blank of sorcerers who exist to protect the precarious existence of the living from the supernatural.
Da, 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 da.
Those blanks were very random. I don't think they were effective at all.
I liked them. I liked them.
JQAG already got it.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. Cool.
For anyone that wants to read along, you can read it on the Viz app.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
We are
It's an
reading.
incredible deal, and you should all look into it if
Yeah.
it's available in your country.
It's awesome. It's like $2 a month,
yes,
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which is real great. We are reading chapters 1 through 34 of that. So we're good. And there is an anime adaptation coming out real soon that people are hyped about. So we're very excited to read the manga and see what's going on before the anime airs. Cool. So let's go around and shout out all of our stuff. If you would like more MangaPod, we have a website, mangapod.card.co. There are 2 R's in the co. You can find links to all of the everything. We have Twitter and Instagram, which is also MangaPod, and we also have a Discord, which has been really fun. Moeka set it up and it looks dope, and people have been going in there, and you can chat about MangaPod and spoilers or general manga, general anime, things like that, and it's been really, really fun. Shouting out our personal stuff. Oh, wait. I said this at the top, but for those of you who joined us in the middle, we do have audio streaming. We are Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Google Podcasts, I think we are either on or going to be on. So you can go ahead and check us out over there if you would prefer to listen that way. And you can also watch the VOD of our previous episodes up on YouTube, which is Happily Erin. I don't really do anything other than MangaPod for that channel, but that's really fine. If you want previous anime impressions and stuff, you can check those out there. Much more active on Twitter and Instagram. I finished my book and it's going through final edits and it's going to be coming out very soon, and I'm so excited. So you can keep track of updates on Twitter. And yeah, I also talk about white-haired anime boys and Thai dramas. If you need somebody, I need somebody.
All the good
Just come
stuff.
over here. All the good things. That's me.
Hi everybody, I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I stream almost every day. I'm in a bunch of D&D shows, so I talk about those a lot. But overall, it's just good vibes and talking about what it's like to have a toddler and Dungeons and Dragons and playing games. Currently encouraging Erin to play Hades, as all of you should play Hades because it's a fantastic game. But yeah, that's basically what's going on with me. So come hang out.
Cool. My name's Lou, and you can follow me on Twitter at LouTalksAnime. Yeah. In terms of like what I tweet about, it's a mishmash of like political analysis because that's what I went to school for several years to do, but also like anime and gaming stuff. So if you want to follow me on there, that's fine. The last few manga pods I've shouted out friends that are streamers, like like affiliates that I think do good stuff, and I think you should watch. This time with the state of the world, rather than shout out any online content, I just want people to take a minute or two of their time to get to know what's going on in their community. So just read, find out like what are the problems in your community and what are the solutions that people are trying to put forward to make things better. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
I love that. Moeka?
Hello, I am Moeka. I do VTubing, as you can see on screen. I play video games. I stream over at MegaMoeka. Pretty much you can find me at MegaMoeka on just about everything. I talk about anime, manga, video games, cosplay, a bunch of shit. My murder husbandos. Yeah, so if you like to see me talk about that stuff, please feel free to follow. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a link to the Discord? Can drop in the chat super
yes.
quick. Trying to remember where to find it.
In the rules, there's a little section for server invites.
Oh, perfect. I get scared sometimes to to do things in the Discord because I keep accidentally host calling. So I keep calling everybody. So I'm like, oh no, how am I going to get there again?
No, it's okay.
If it makes you feel better, I accidentally called a friend of mine on Discord at like 4 a.m. when I was just sleepily grabbing my phone. And when I looked at it, it was calling her. And I was like, no! So, we've all done it.
All done it. I did that to us here one time. And then Lou answered or like called back or something.
Good guy,
I don't
Lou.
remember any of this. But,
Oh, really? Yeah, no, it happened. It was
I
pretty
was
great.
probably asleep, and I was like, "Yeah, what's going on?"
I like called and hung up, and then Lou called back. I was like, no, Lou.
Mwah.
Good. Profesh. It was great.
Yeah.
All right. So that wraps up our podcast for this week. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out and talking Blood on the Tracks chapters 33 through 82 with us. Next week, we are going to be reading Jujutsu Kaisen chapters 1 through 34, and we hope that you join us for that. Thank you all so much. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 See
Bye.
ya.
Bye. Bye. Bye.